lost friends every time my life got better. There are moments in life when you expect loss. And then there are moments when loss arrives quietly, disguised as distance, unanswered messages, or invitations that never come. I didn't always realize I was losing friends when it was happening. I thought friendships only ended with conflict or betrayal. What I've learned is that sometimes friendships end because you change in ways that disrupt the emotional contract you once had with others. There were 3 life-changing moments when this truth became impossible to ignore. The first shift, when I left abuse and was loved differently. The first time I noticed a shift was after I finally left an abusive relationship, for good, and later met the answer to my prayers. My life didn't change because of grand gestures. It changed because I was loved consistently, gently, and without fear. And something unexpected happened. Friends who had been present throughout the years of abuse slowly became distant. Psychologically, this makes sense. When someone has known you primarily in survival mode, your suffering can unconsciously become part of the bond. You are familiar in your pain. When you heal, when your nervous system settles, when your self-worth strengthens, you disrupt that familiarity. For some people, your healing is not inspiring. It's destabilizing. Being loved properly removed the chaos that once made me relatable to them. And without realizing it at the time, I was no longer playing the role they were comfortable with. The second shift. When I married and chose stability. The second shift came when my partner and I married. Not only was I being loved well, I was choosing a life rooted in stability, partnership, and long-term commitment. Again, the distance appeared. I questioned myself deeply. I've always been willing to look in the mirror. I asked, did I change? Did I become inaccessible? Did I lose my warmth? But what remained true was this: the generosity, humor, love, and openness people had always known in me were still there. What had changed was my availability for dysfunction. From a psychological perspective, major life milestones, healthy relationships, marriage, stability, can trigger envy, comparison, or grief in others who are wrestling with unmet desires or unresolved wounds. Instead of being named, those feelings often show up as exclusion. I wasn't being punished for who I had become. I was being distanced from because my life no longer mirrored theirs. The third shift after my mother died and I rebuilt myself. The third loss of friendships was the most unexpected and the most profound. After my mother passed, everything broke open. I put everything into healing. I grieved intentionally. I rebuilt myself deliberately. I emerged changed. And in that becoming, I didn't just lose friends, I lost family too. Grief is a portal. It strips you of illusion. It clarifies what matters, and it often reveals who can walk with you through transformation and who cannot. Psychologically, deep grief creates what's called post-traumatic growth. When someone integrates loss and grows from it, their worldview, boundaries, and values shift. Not everyone can meet you there. Some people prefer the version of you who hadn't yet learned to choose herself so fiercely. The breaking was fierce, but the rebuilding was intentional, and the clarity that followed reshaped me for the better. What I learned and how I carry it forward. I've learned that not all friendships are meant to survive your healing. Some are built on proximity to pain. Some are sustained by unspoken comparison. Some require you to stay small, uncertain, or unclaimed. And when you refuse to do that anymore, distance isn't cruelty, it's information. I now carry these lessons forward with compassion, not resentment. I no longer chase explanations. I no longer shrink my joy to preserve comfort. I let people meet me where they can or step away if they cannot. A message to the woman experiencing this too. If you are losing friends as you heal, love differently, or rebuild yourself, there's nothing wrong with you. You are not becoming unrecognizable. You are becoming more yourself. Some people will celebrate that. Others will quietly exit. Let them. You are not meant to be held by everyone. Only by those who can honor who you are becoming.